Hey guys, we are looking at an absolute value inequality, okay? When you're solving problems like this, there's four types of answers you might get, okay? There's an and inequality, an or inequality, all real numbers, or no solution, okay? Obviously, I'm just doing one problem here, so you'll see one. If you want to see a video where I do an example of each in one video, I will link it for you in the corner, okay? But let's go ahead and look at this. So the first thing I want to do is make sure my absolute value is alone on one side of the inequality, okay? So in this one, I'm good. If there happened to be like a +7 here, or it was being multiplied by a 4 or something, I would want to get rid of those before I tried to solve this, okay? But here we're good. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split this into two different inequalities, okay? And if you're like, why is she doing that? I'll link a video in the corner where I explain why we do this, okay? So the first one is going to be x plus 5 is greater than or equal to 15, okay? I just dropped the absolute value bars. That's all, okay? The other one is going to be x plus 5. I'm going to flip the sign, so it's going to be less than or equal to, and change the sign on this so it is negative 15, okay? And then I'm going to solve these. First of all, remember I told you there are four types of answers, okay? Well, the no solutions and all real numbers have to do with if this were negative over here, okay? If your absolute value is alone and you have a negative over here, you're either going to have all real numbers or no solutions, okay? So those two don't apply. So I'm either going to have an and inequality or an or inequality, okay? Now again, that video I linked earlier will show you why this is the case, but to figure out which kind it is, I can look at my sign, okay? So this is greater than, and one way that can help to remember it is to think of greater. I know that's not how you spell greater, but greater. So if you have that greater than sign, it is going to be an or inequality. So now that I know it's an or inequality, I'm going to get x alone with both of these inequalities, okay? So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides here. And I end up with x is greater than or equal to 10. So that's one of my answers. Or x can also be, let's subtract 5 from both sides. And I end up with x is less than or equal to negative 20. Okay, so x can be greater than or equal to 10 or less than or equal to negative 20. Let's quickly see what this looks like on a number line because inequalities and number lines just love each other for some reason. They just belong together. So here we have 10 and negative 20. So x can be greater than or equal to 10, right? Or less than or equal to negative 20. Okay, so those are any number from negative infinity to negative 20 and from 10 to infinity can work to make this inequality true. Okay, if you want to write it in interval notation, we would say parenthesis negative infinity to negative 20. And we use a bracket here because it can be negative 20 because of that or equal to, right? And this is united with, we can also pick a number from 10, again, a bracket because it can be 10, to infinity. Okay, so those, sorry, let me finish drawing my box. These two answers are the same answer, just written in two different forms, inequality form and interval notation form. Okay, so just whichever one your teacher wants or whichever one you prefer. Okay, all right, check out that other video if you want to know why we split it up into these two, and I will also link a playlist with a bunch of other examples if you need them. Thanks.